Hey, One Tree Hill fans, welcome back. Thanks for being here. So, I'm gonna be honest, I really think that I just kind of blocked this episode out after hearing the women speak about it on the podcast. I think I remember why. Although I did kind of want to say, like, there was a couple things that stuck out to me about the podcast, and that is that I think expecting anything more from Taylor would have been silly because Taylor wasn't that. Yeah, Taylor was a fun chick. I really don't think that her kind of telling Nathan would have worked for her character, nor would it have worked for Nathan, because I think that was kind of the point where Nathan had to come to that realization on his own, because that way it means more that he actually made that declaration and realization himself. And also the whole Nikki stuff, they were saying, oh God, they must have hated women. Well, I'm just going to say, I don't think that either, because all I know is that there are women out there that do act like that about their kid. And I will say that just because they want to take care of their kid doesn't mean that they can. So I think that Nikki was accurately portrayed in that regard. So yeah, let's get into it. This is season 2, episode 18, The Lonesome Road. It's always kind of funny that Taylor was totally hitting on Nathan, and then like now she's all like, oh, please tell me my sister's sitting next to you. It's like, so you do care? I mean, I know they kind of made up on that one episode, but it's just like Taylor almost could be seems bipolar in the way that she acts sometimes. It's like, what? I'm sorry, when Lucas, like, right after Dan walks out of the office and then just, like, kind of closes the blinds and looks in the ceiling, it's like, that seems like a really bad time to do that. Like, okay, nothing happened, but it just seems, like, very inopportune. I do like the fact that Andy and Lucas are working together. I wish it didn't have to be under those circumstances, but it's cute that they're working together. I do agree with what they said on the podcast about how Jake meeting with the lawyer without any parent was always struck me as odd too. Nathan, always looking for trouble, just had to go to Taylor. Oh, Nikki's always good at being a threatening bitch. Poor Peyton. And Lucas meeting Darby was really cute. I always thought that was such a low blow for Nikki to tell Jake that Jenny's not his daughter. And I still don't know if I ever believed it. Yeah, that coyote ugly dance on the bar, I really don't. I don't know. Like I said, I really think I kind of blacked out this episode in my mind, in my memory. I don't know if Brooke just didn't believe Karen when she said that she was going to be, have rules and things, but it's just so funny because Karen's just like, I think she was pretty nice to her, but she's like, yeah, you're grounded. She's like, I've been grounded in my whole life. It's like, welcome to welcome to having a real parent there, Brooke. Oh my God, Lucas and Andy breaking into the dealership. What wholesome activities for a stepson and a soon-to-be stepfather to do together. I do like that Andy's like, oh, well, if your mother asks me anything about this, I'm not going to lie to her. I'm like, solid, good. Brooke not knowing how to do chores. Gee, must have been nice to get that far in life and not know how to do chores. Oh, that whole story that Jake tells Whitey is just like, I think that's the first time I've really seen Whitey speechless. And it's such a heart-wrenching story, but it explains a lot about where Jake stands. I mean, we knew, but now we really know. And again, it's not usual to see Whitey speechless. Darby's story was very real, very poignant, and very sweet. And I think it really helped Anna see another path to get that courage for herself. So, was Taylor going to sleep with Nathan if Haley hadn't called her? And, I mean, that was kind of a weird interaction. I mean, I just kind of got that feeling, and then Nathan being able to say no was nice. But then he's just so insulting. He's like, he keeps like drifting between this, you know, the guy he wants to be and the guy he was raised to be by Dan. I did always think the whole like book exchange. Oh, I always like Professor Moriarty. You know he's a villain, right? Between Lucas and Dan was a little odd, but I always thought it was more telling because he did like Professor Moriarty and he is the villain, and he's all like, oh, that's one interpretation. It's like, I always thought it was funny that Brooke was doing the whole mopping thing with the sponge. And yeah, when Lucas is like, this is a mop. It's like, of course a rich girl has never been grounded and had maids or whatever wouldn't know how to do this. It's amazing what certain people don't know how to do. Hell, I've known people who couldn't boil water. I did like the cinematography shot with Anna's parents kind of blurred out, but I did hate the word but. She's like, oh, but I have something to tell you. It's like, that sucks. Just say, and I have something to tell you. Poor Jake. So much stress for a teenager to deal with. And I mean, part of me is just like, why can't you just have like equal custody, and then like if she's really a bad mom, you could catch her and then get full custody? Like, why do you gotta run away? Okay, I forgot that Jake like totally turned himself in, and I think he did that on the advice of the lawyer to be like good faith or something. I do think it's kind of crazy that Anna would choose to go back to her boarding school, but it's brave. It's a bold move. Okay, I'm starting to think Bevan might be a bad influence. She was like, let's go to this party. Let's go to this party. Oh my God, Dan upgrading the security system to cameras and that whole interaction with Lucas and like, oh yeah, he sacrificed himself to bring down the bad guy. Well, that's one interpretation. Hey Lucas, I'll be seeing ya. Oh my God, when Nikki walks in and they see the basketball and the carrier and the big doe eyes and kind of smirk from Peyton's everything. Karen being cool, like, you're not grounded anymore. I think you've learned your lesson. Hey, Lucas using his noggin, taking the shredded pieces out of the machine and putting in another bunch of shredded items. Smart. Erasing Haley's message, Nathan putting his ring on the answering machine. Like, what is that? Poor Peyton, always missing the boat, it feels like. Then she finally is like, I love you, Jake. I love you too, Peyton. It's like, I totally forgot about the twist of Whitey taking Jenny, and I'm just like, more reasons to love Whitey. I love him so much. That's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time.